Welcome back, everybody. This is day 2 of the 3-day mindset challenge. Again, I am Brent Edmonds. I'm gonna be your guide throughout this challenge. So today we're gonna be going over perseverance. Okay, what does perseverance mean? It means that you're gonna have hard obstacles, some hard tasks in front of you, but it doesn't matter. You're gonna create that mindset to work through anything. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's hard, easy, or right in the middle. Okay, you're gonna approach it all the same way. Okay, so we're gonna talk about perseverance a little bit, and also while we're doing any kind of coursework, especially since you're gonna be on your own, I can't monitor you. Okay, so you gotta take the discipline enough to take this, either put it away, ignore it, or you just easily go in, silence it. Okay, or just straight up turn it off. I can't figure out where my hand needs to be. So just turn it off. Okay, right there. Okay, nice, easy. Okay, you're not gonna ever see me really going over to my phone for anything during when I need to sit down and study or when I need to teach. Okay, the only time that you may see me ever have it out is if I got notes on it that I'm gonna be referring to. And you're gonna see at times that keeping a note card is a good thing. Okay, there's no cheating in it. It's just reminders for yourself. Okay, so I'll get more into that, into the mental game aspect as we move further along. Okay, so perseverance is all about developing a mindset of it doesn't matter if it's hard. Okay, you don't want everything to be easy because then it's not challenging. You want a challenge. That is just human nature. Okay, human nature is to have a challenge because when it's too easy, it's boring. It really is. Okay, you need hard, difficult tasks to be able to thrive. And just one case, I had this one start over at BW. I think it was my senior year. Yeah, my senior year, and I was starting our very first home game, home opener. I mean, we've already played like 14 games up to this point. Most of those coming in Florida, but this was our home opener against Case Western, and they were a pretty good team. They had a kid that was up for D3 National Player of the Year, and they made a run in the playoffs the year before. And yeah, to say the least, I was gonna have a challenge on my hands, and I'm going into this with a brand new pitch that I just been working on. A cut fastball, and it was working well. And that day it was absolutely beautiful. I mean, it was cutting down in, boom, right on the outer half, but the umpire would not call it. And I mean, there's nothing I can do. I just got to keep making my pitch. That also resulted in me only going about 4 2/3 or something like that. It was tough to work around that. It really was. But during the game, I wasn't gonna sit there and start blaming the umpire. No, I got to make the next pitch. I got a job in front of me. Okay, if you were here yesterday, you heard the story of me putting too much pressure on myself my senior year. I learned from that, and I said I can't let this get to me. And my whole senior year, I was kind of fighting through like a little bit of elbow pain, and that's one thing. That was one obstacle that was always in my way, especially throughout my college career. But I was too stubborn to sit out. Um, yeah, so I was working through that along with this umpire that just didn't want to give me that pitch. And I mean, it's tough because you want that pitch as a pitcher. I mean, I could very easily have showed up the umpire like, "Yo, where was that?" When I do that, my college coach is taking me out the game. So I know I can't do that, but I'm going to still work through that. Do what I can, last as long as I can at this point. And I mean, that cutter was such a beautiful pitch, throughout that entire game, and I was so excited going in. Just get disappointed for him not to call it. but I was still trying to make my pitches, and it didn't go as planned. Let's just say that. And after the game, because we always got video being taken of us, and our coach liked to do it from center field, had somebody out in center field and see the pitches, and see the movement on the pitches, the movement being created, and all that. And I mean, it's awesome. It's like watching a major league game. It was pretty cool. So I went back and I reviewed that pitch, and I actually sat there and I counted how many times he missed that pitch that I thought was a strike that he called a ball. And I counted up 13 times. I mean, against a team like Case Western, who just made a run and is nationally ranked, I mean, that's kind of tough to overcome, to perform well and do your job. But there was nothing I could do about that. And, I told my coach, like, stuff happens. I mean, I went back and I reviewed the videos, and I saw that he missed that pitch 13 times. I mean, that's big, especially as a pitcher when you want to get ahead of the hitters. Like I was talking about yesterday with this hat, 3 up, 3 down. I mean, it makes it very hard to do that. So in the game, you got to adjust that mindset then. The umpire is going to make it tough. Your pitch count's going to probably go up because he's missing some pitches. Oh well, keep making your pitches. Next pitch, next pitch. Trust your defense behind you. Okay? And, you're always going to have these obstacles. You're going to have umpires, like I was just discussing. You're going to have fans, which I'll get into that here in a moment. I just thought about it, coming off my plan. So I'm going to add that in, the fans. Then you can even have parents as an obstacle. And it could be your own parent. I mean, I had to shut my mom down before, so I know. I truly know. And, you got your coaches. You got teammates behind you, maybe not making those plays. You got so many different obstacles that are just outside of your control, but you got to be able to work through those. Okay? We talked about yesterday being up here, being down here, right? Where do you got to be? Right in the middle. And that's how you got to carry yourself, especially in those moments where you need to persevere through some tough aspects, okay? And real quick, since I'm in Ohio, I'm going to show you right now one of the hardships that you may face being Northern Ohio baseball. And it may be tough to see because, it's pretty bright. But if you look out right there, you see all that? Sometimes you get that. You get snow. And you got to play through that. If the game don't get canceled. But, sometimes you're going to have cold games like this. You got to act like it's warm. Simple as that. You got to act like you're the warmest player out there, and that's how you're going to get through that game. But going back, some of the obstacles that are out of your control. So let's go back to the fans. I had a start against John Carroll. Okay. And they're a decently tough team, but it was at their place. And their students, they had a student section show up, which you don't see a lot, at D3. But you had like a student section, and they were trash talking the entire game. They were loud. Their dorms are like right behind the field, and you even had people watching from their rooms, talking smack. They were on their computers during the game, getting your name, getting like little info, and trying to use it against you while you were out there. And that was one of the toughest games that I faced, and even our number one who threw that same day too. So it was him and me. At this point, I don't remember. It was a doubleheader. I can't remember who pitched game one, who pitched game two. I think I pitched game two. But even he had a tough time working through that. They made it hard, and they swept us in that doubleheader. And it wasn't anything that I did that led us to losing. As a whole, as a team, we had a tough time working through that. I went out and I did the best I could in doing my job. And that's what I was focused on. We weren't hitting. We weren't doing some of the little things that typically we would have been doing to be able to win that ball game. And, I mean, you have games like that. But then you got to bounce back. Okay, you got to bounce back. You learn from it. You learn from the mistakes. You learn what went wrong in that game to get better. Okay? And thinking back of another game, this was back when I played with the Ohio Orioles, back when I was 18. Okay? 18, and we were playing in a tournament. And in this tournament, this was like the third time that we've seen this team, because we played in a league too where we faced them, and I actually started that game in the league and dominated them. We had bad weather, and but the story of that day, the umpire was calling this pitch like 3 inches outside and low. Well, once I found that out, I used that, and that entire game, because the other team was just discombobulated by that the entire game. And I just kept boom, 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 throwing it to that same spot. We won the game like 2-1 or something, and it was rainy and all that. But then moving on, so let's move on to when we faced them in the tournament. Because we faced them a couple times in tournaments that year. But this tournament, I went into it like, man, I already dominated these guys. Like, they can't touch me. Well, of course, you get a different umpire, different day. They were a little bit more locked in. We still won this game, but man, like, it was probably like the second or third inning. They were hitting me around and stuff, and I'm like on the mound. I'm getting the ball back. I'm like, I even looked at my coach. I'm like, why you still got me in? They obviously hit me. They figured it out from the first time. Like, well, why am I still in? Well, he kept me in. So I'm like, all right, well, I just got to adjust. So I adjusted my mindset to be able to give our team a fair shot at winning this game. And that's exactly what happened. I worked through that. There's going to be days that you're going to get hit around, but you're still going to be doing your job. As long as you limit them and prevent them from coming across and hitting home plate and scoring some runs as a pitcher. That is your job. Okay? And even when things aren't going your way, you fight to give your team a chance to win. Okay? That is your number one job as a pitcher. Like the first story, bad umpire. Okay? It happened. But still gave the team a shot to win the game. Tried to go as deep as I could. This Orioles game, or the John Carroll game, you had the fans. Still tried to do my job, get the outs, give my team a fair chance to win. And then you got this Orioles game when I dominated them earlier, bad weather, okay, and you just adjusted to that weather and then what the umpire was calling that day. And then they make an adjustment on you the second time around. I mean, those are obstacles all outside my control, but what is the number one thing that I can do? Compete. Compete, compete, compete. Give my team a chance to win. Okay? You do that and you're going to see so many more opportunities because right here is strong. Okay? You may have the physical tools. This right here, if it's not strong, it's tough. And I've seen some very talented players not be strong right here, and it holds them back. And it's very disappointing to watch because, you know, some of them I look at, I'm like, man, I wish I had some of those tools back, you know, especially back when I was playing, you know, as talented as they are. But that right there, they had difficulties mastering it. I'm sorry, I can definitely get into the storytelling, okay? So take those stories. I mean, if you find them annoying, oh well. But the whole thing is, you take from those stories, from my experience, you compare them, and then you learn from it, okay? Take my experiences and learn from them. Everything is a learning opportunity, and that's how you got to look at things. Everything is a learning opportunity, whether you're winning, whether you're losing, okay? You learn. The thing is, as a coach, I could care less about my win-loss record. I want to make an impact on the players that I have, okay? And trust me, you don't learn that much from winning. You learn more from losing. And that's how you get better. And then you build it up, okay? And you know, I can get more into that here soon. Let's go on to the next point. So let's revert back to that Orioles game. Actually, all my stories. Just think about this, okay? And you can actually use this in your homework, which we'll go over here fairly shortly. Think back of those stories. If you need to rewind this video just to re-listen to them, go ahead, do so. I'm sorry for the clicking. That can be very annoying. So I want you to go back to each of those stories, and I even covered what those obstacles were. I want you to think, what were those obstacles that I faced in each and every one of those stories that I just told you? Okay? And what is the number one thing that you need to be doing when you have to face that? Okay, because it's not easy. I mean, some of the environments were not easy. Some of the things outside my control, they're not easy. But like I said, you gotta do your job. As a pitcher, just look at the hat, look at the arrows, look at the meaning behind the hat. That's my job. I gotta get 3 outs, get out the inning. 3 outs, get out the inning. 3 outs, get out the inning. Right? And I'll tell you what, in that Orioles game, I was not as well equipped mentally. I mean, I had a good base. But college is where it really honed in the mindset, okay? I already had the mindset where, like, if you revert back to yesterday's lesson, playing free of failure, is always giving 100% no matter what. Even when I played football, I knew I wasn't the biggest, I knew I wasn't the fastest, I knew I wasn't the strongest, but I thought that. And nothing got in my way when I played football. I played fearless until my senior year when I decided that I was going to go play college baseball. And then I didn't want to hit nobody because I didn't want to get hurt. But, and of course, you know, I hurt my knee a little bit. It was just a bone contusion, nothing like I got right now with the ACL. But, you know, go out there and leave no regrets out there. You know, whenever you play, you slide at 100%. you don't think about the being scared to get hurt. Okay, you're gonna get tweaked up. You're gonna jam a finger. You're gonna jam a wrist. Okay, you're gonna jam your thumb, which will make it hard to grip the bat, but you work through it. Okay, like I said, you persevere through those things to be able to get what you want. And at that time, I didn't want anything getting in the way of me making it to college baseball, which was my dream. And I wasn't going to sit out a game because I tweaked my thumb. Heck no. No, no, no. I was going to play through that. That was little, you know. That was little. Playing through a pulled hamstring, you know. Sit out a week because of that. Yeah, that may be an issue, but you know, because then you keep retweaking it, you keep re-injuring it, and you know, I didn't want anything getting in the way, and I was too stubborn to sit out. I really was. So let's cover the homework that you're going to be doing tonight. Okay, remember, it's all about perseverance. It's all about those situations. So what you're going to do, I'm going to flip over to it. You're not going to see it on the screen. I don't have the screen recording one up, so I'm just going to read it off. It's going to look exactly like yesterday's homework. You're probably going to be thinking, oh man, these are kind of boring. Well, if you think the process is boring, it's going to make it hard to be able to succeed in the game. So things are going to look very similar, or they are going to be the same, but there's like I said, there's no right or wrong answers. Actually, I may not have said that, but it's in the members area that there's no right or wrong answers. You can switch them up to different things that you have seen, your different experiences, different things that you learn each time that you want to be able to come back to remember. Okay, so I just moved over to the homework, so it's covering my screen, but you can still see me. So the perseverance homework, which when you click the button for click for homework, this is going to take you right to that Google Doc. Okay. So your instructions, you're going to think back to a game. Okay, and in that game, you're thinking of all the obstacles that you had to overcome, whether it be the umpire, the fans, the weather, coaches, etc. Okay, all the things that you couldn't control. Then you're going to think, now you're going to reflect and write down how you handled that. Then, what did you do well? So you're going to pick 2 games. I want you to pick 2 games. Okay, first game, game number 1, is where you handled it well. Okay? How did you handle it well? You go back and you start answering those questions now. And now number 2, okay, is a game where you didn't respond very well. Okay? You're going to reflect on both and answer those questions above it. Okay? And really think of a game, because we're not perfect. We all have bad games. We all have a game in there that we're just like, man, we did not do well. We did not do our job. We're all human. That's what makes us human. But we learn, and like I said, you work through those obstacles. Okay? So that's what you're going to be doing. Spend 10, 15, 20 minutes. If you want to go above and beyond, you want to spend 30 minutes, an hour, do so. Okay? That's all up to you. Okay? Then print this out, put it in a binder, write it out, type it, save it, put it on a flash drive, whatever works for you. And just use that as your little binder. Okay? And so stay tuned. Next lesson is coming where we're going to be covering being a student of the game. Bye for now.